Hey guys, welcome in. I hope everyone is doing well today. I'm Taffany and this is Tika's Gardens, and I am here in front of my courtyard garden because I got myself into something, and it's a good something in the end, but yeah, I'm going to show you what I did back here, and I'm going to put a clip in to show you just a few days ago what everything looked like back here before I got myself into a job that I thought was going to be really heavy duty but turned out to be pretty lightweight. So I'm going to talk to you about that and show you what I did. I'm going to do some planting, and at some point, maybe I'll start today, maybe tomorrow, I need to start clean up along my beds along the driveway. I've got lilies coming up, there's leaves all in the bed and stuff, so I might get to it today. Depends on how I feel. But for sure, we're going to talk about what I did back here, and I'm going to explain a few things to you that are actually important. So let me show you what it looked like before, and then we'll talk about what it looks like now. So guys, this is just about maybe 2 days ago. You will notice that big pile of wood that has been back there. You've seen it in all of the other videos. And of course, this little bed here that was just recently planted. But that wood right there, that was my project. I ended up just by chance just jabbing my trowel into one of the pieces of wood, and it just went straight in, and I realized that a lot of the wood is rotted. So I went ahead and I broke the wood down and spread it out to use as you know, some to compost down in the beds, and I kept the pieces of wood that were good. But I just wanted to show you that back section there so you can see what it looks like with the wood there. And so now let's come back and you can see, we can do a little bit of more talking about some important information. All right, guys, so let's head back here. Now that I've explained to you what I did and showed you what things look like, let me show you what it looked like before. Let me show you what it looks like now. And for any true gardener, making another flower bed, giving yourself some more planting room, that's always exciting. So you can even kind of see behind me, actually, as I kind of pan a little bit. You get to see what it looks like there, but let's look close up to it. So let's head back here. All right, let me turn the camera around for you. All right, so there we have it, a new bed. All of the wood that was there has been moved. What had broken down and was just really nothing but rotted wood is here in this bed, and I actually need to dig some of this out and spread more of it over here. There's an airplane above, but you can see I've got some here, so I'm going to take some from that other bed and spread it all the way there. So basically it is acting as wood mulch. And then of course there's some here along with leaves and everything, and I had one bag of rock left, so I started spreading it, but I really didn't have enough, so I think 2 more bags would do it, and it will freshen up this walk here. But yes, so I am going to match this bed. I got another white camellia, and I already had 4 left over of the sunpatiens. I picked up 2 more so I can have 6. So there's 6 here with the white camellia. I'm going to do 6 here with the white camellia. And the edging is edging that I already had that's just kind of stuck over there. And the wood that was still pretty good for burning, I kind of lined up along here, as you can see. So that is what I did with the wood. And let me tell you, it was not hard work at all. I thought it was going to take me quite a bit of time, and I really had no intentions of even starting it. There's a lot of air traffic, guys, this morning. Sorry about that. But I wasn't even going to do it. It wasn't on my agenda, wasn't on my radar. But as I explained the story to you just a couple minutes ago, that is how I ended up getting into it. And this is the end result. And now keep in mind, we're going to be mulching the yard front and back. So all of this, the leaves that I raked into there, and then the wood on top, and then with mulch on top, is just going to add, it's just going to enrich the soil even more. So, I am excited. I'm going to plant that up today. And like I said, if I get my energy up, I will go ahead and also start cleaning up on the driveway beds. But this is our goal for sure for today. Now, guys, before I do start planting, I do kind of want to put out a PSA. And I'm saying this from experience and also from my career background. I don't talk about myself a lot, but, I have a degree in microbiology and medical specialty as well, which I won't get into. And so that was what my career has been. And so when I say this coming from a place of knowledge as far as the scientific aspect is concerned. So just putting that out there before I make this statement. If you're a survivalist, someone who does a lot of camping, you likely already know this, but there are a lot of people that are not very outdoorsy. But if you ever find yourself in a survival situation and you're having to collect wood to, stay warm, to cook with, keep in mind, fresh wood burns best. So if you're, in the woods, near the woods, whatever the case may be, you want to look for freshly fallen branches, a freshly fallen tree to get your wood from. Wet wood does not burn very good. You can try it, but it doesn't really burn very good for obvious reasons. But when wood is old and rotted, you have a few things going on. The first is that it's not going to burn very good. But even if you could get it to burn, you don't really want to burn it, because rotted wood is an amalgamation of bacteria, yeast, fungi, all the things that are needed to break the wood down. And those things are wonderful for our soil, which is why we use wood for mulch. It adds those things into the ground along with minerals and things like that. So you get wonderful fruits, vegetables, plants, shrubs, everything. It's great for that, which is why the forest floor, is the richest soil that you will find anywhere. But you don't really want to burn rotted wood because the fungi on it is one of the main reasons. You don't want to burn that, because when you start to burn it, it will release its spores, and you don't want that on your food, and you definitely don't want to be inhaling it. So you don't want to use it for a campfire to sit around and talk, and you're burning rotted wood with fungus on it. You're going to be inhaling the spores. And like I said, you don't want it on your food. So that is just a little tip, for those who, find themselves in a situation where this world is right now, we don't know where things are going or where we'll end up, or a disaster happens and you are without power and you need, hang on, another plane, and you need to collect wood, firewood for your house to warm your family. And maybe you're going to cook on your grill and you're out of charcoal, or you want to kind of combine your charcoal and your wood to stretch things out. I just want to give you that information because a lot of people don't know it. You know, all wood is not wood you want to use for burning. Find fresh wood. You know, when I say fresh wood that, you know, is just recently fallen off of a tree. Not many of us can go get an axe and cut branches, but, you know, if what you can find on the ground, that's, you know, branches that have recently fallen or a tree that's recently fallen, but don't burn rotted wood. And that wood broke down so easy. It probably took me an hour max to break down all the rotted pieces, and the rest I stored on the side. And in the process of doing that, I actually came across a snake in one of the pieces of wood. I tossed that wood to the side and let the snake have the wood, and I just continued working with the rest. And I left it there until the snake was gone. So yeah, I got to it the next day. But yeah, I just wanted to let people know that because that's important. You know, don't burn rotted wood. You know, you can use it for mulch. You know, there's always a use for it. It's going to add richness to these beds back here and everything. So, you know, it's great. But anyway, let me get my plants and stuff and let's get started. And Miss Tika came past me meowing. You probably heard her, which means she has snuck back here along the side. Yep. Miss Tika, come on. Come on. Yep. Come on. You know, no. You know, whenever something's new, cats are kind of thrown off, and she's like, what's going on over here? Look at her. There's another airplane coming in. We've had like 5 airplanes coming in just from the few minutes that we've started this video. But yeah, Miss Tika is like, what is going on here? But I love it. I'm excited to have another bed. I was going to make it one long bed, but I decided to just make 2 of the same shape and, you know, make use of that corner. I also thought about putting a table back there, but I'm like, nobody in my family is going to sit all the way in the back in the corner. They're going to want to be in the middle of the garden. So here are the sunpatiens that I already had, and I got 2 more, and this is the same camellia as the one back in the back so that I already have. It's a white one. I'm looking for the tag. Hang on. I dropped it. Okay, so here it is. So that's the camellia that is back there, and that's what I'm going to be putting in. And I don't know if it's how to pronounce it exactly, but it's like Mine no Yuki or Mine no Yuki, something like that. But anyway, let's get these to the back and let's get these planted. Guys, look at it. It's looking so good. Look at that. Oh man. All right, let me get these sunpatiens in ground and then we're gonna step back and look at it really good. All right, guys. Well, I have everything planted in ground. I came across a couple of logs that I missed that were like deeper in the ground. One was still good for burning, so I put it with the pile. The other I've just got here to the side. But I think it looks good. And also, guys, this is an example. You know, this courtyard garden is my project for this season. And it is really a good idea to tackle one little section at a time, like a little micro environment, so you don't feel overwhelmed. You're not trying to do a whole space at once. And, you know, you spend when you have the money. And lastly, it helps kind of lead you into the direction that you may really want to go. You can have an idea in your mind, but as you go, something doesn't work, you can't plant in a certain spot or whatever. You can kind of work with that as you go instead of buying a whole big bunch of stuff and, you know, trying to plant it all and then things don't work out, or it turns out it's not exactly what you had in mind. So just working in micro environments is really the best way to do this. And it's just fun to go along the way. I'm going to raise this up so you can see. Look at that. So I'm going to step back and let you get a closer look. All right, so here we are at the entrance, so you can kind of get a really good look at that white from a distance. Obviously, these have grown a little bit and a little bit more fuller and thicker. That's my hand trying to represent fuller and thicker. Than these, which are new. Some are smaller, obviously, than others. You can tell the 4 that I've been holding on to versus the 2 that I just put in ground, but they are going to fill in and touch. And she is off again to the side of the garage, which she knows I don't want her over at, because I can't keep my eye on her over there. But this is what it looks like. Yeah. And one other thing you might notice in the background that I didn't point out, I have this hanging basket that I put here. So we've got hanging baskets all around. my neighbor has started mowing, so that's the noise that you hear right now. But anyway, guys, that is what everything looks like, and it's beautiful. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it for the day since my neighbors next door here are mowing. And I just want to thank you for being in the garden with me. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing. Give the videos a thumbs up. Tell your friends about it. And let's all just garden together. But in the meantime, I will see you in the next video. Bye.